Welcome to Port Louis, the capital city of Mauritius. It is mainly located in the Port Louis district, with a small western part in the Black River district. Port Louis is the country's financial and political center and most populous city. It is administered by the Municipal City Council of Port Louis. According to the 2018 census conducted by Statistics Mauritius, the population was 147,066. Kindly subscribe to this channel and share this video to your friends and families. Port Louis was used as a harbor by the Dutch settlers from 1606, when they started to refer to the area as Harbor of Tortoises. In 1736, under French government, it became the administrative center of Mauritius and a major reprovisioning halt for French ships during their passage between Asia and Europe, around the Cape of Good Hope. The port is named in honor of King Louis XV. During this period of French colonization, Mauritius was known as Isle de France. The French governor at that time, Bertrand-François Mahe de la Bourdonnais, contributed to the development of the city. Since Port Louis was relatively well protected from strong winds during cyclones by the Mocha mountain range, Port Louis was selected to house both the main harbor and fort for the island. The value of the port continued during the British occupation of the island during the Napoleonic Wars, 1800–15, and helped Britain control the Indian Ocean. However, port calls of ships fell drastically following the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869. Activity in the port increased during the 7-year closure of the Suez Canal, starting in 1967. Modernization of the port in the late 1970s has helped it maintain its role as the central point for all imports and exports from Mauritius. While Port Louis continues to be the business and administrative capital of Mauritius, expansion of the tourism industry in the late 1990s led to considerable development in Port Louis, with many shops, hotels, and restaurants being built in the Caudan Waterfront area. Raouf Audruth, the Mauritian artist, provides a 1930s scene depicting the waterfront when motorized transportation hardly existed. Place d'Armes is still recognizable despite high-rise buildings, heavy traffic jams, and crowds of pedestrians. The local governance of Port Louis is overseen by a municipal council. The City Council of Port Louis was first established in 1830 and is currently one of 5 municipal councils responsible for the urban areas in Mauritius, as organized under Local Government Act 2011. 24 councillors are elected democratically to administer the council. Councillors then elect a Lord Mayor and a Deputy Lord Mayor. Functions of the council are performed through departments of administration, finance, land use and planning, public infrastructure, public health, welfare, parks and gardens, and the city library. Services delivered by the local government include preschool, kindergarten, and vocational schools, health protection, housing regulation, road services, refuse collection, cemeteries, some environmental and consumer protection services, and economic promotion activities. Other services are provided to the city by the central government. These include police services through the Mauritius Police Force, which maintains 2 divisions responsible for the Port Louis area, Metropolitan Divisions North and South. There is also a specific port police, composed of the Harbor Police and Bulk Sugar Terminal Police. Their roles include providing security to cargo and facilities in the port area and enforcing laws related to harbor regulations, customs, quarantine, immigration, and drug trafficking. Port Louis is divided into different suburbs including but not limited to Belle Village, Borstal, Campiolof, Cassis, Chaudemar, Cité-la-Cure, Cité-Valigé, Grande Rivière Nord-Ouest, La Tour-Koenig, Pales, Plaine-Lausanne, Blois-Inaverta, Pointe-aux-Sables, Rochebois, Sainte-Croix, Tranquobar, Vallée des Prêtres, Vallée-Pitot. Port Louis is electorally divided into 8 wards each with 3 councillors. Owing to its location in the rain shadow of the southeast trade winds, Port Louis features a tropical savanna climate, under Köppen's climate classification. Its wettest months are from December through April, where on average 80 mm, 3.1 in, or more, of rainfall. The remaining months form Port Louis's dry season. The city also shows a noticeable but small range of average temperatures. Port Louis's coolest temperatures are seen mid-year, where average high temperatures are around 27 degrees Celsius or 80.6 degrees Fahrenheit. During the height of the wet season, the city sees its highest temperatures, where average high temperatures are usually around 31 degrees Celsius or 88 degrees Fahrenheit. The economy of the city is mostly dominated by its financial center, port facilities, tourism, and the manufacturing sector, which includes textiles, chemicals, plastics, and pharmaceuticals. Port Louis is home to the biggest port facility in the Indian Ocean region and one of Africa's major financial centers. Port Louis is the financial center of Mauritius, which has established itself as a safe and trusted location for conducting business due to its strong democracy, political stability, and multilingual population. Located in Port Louis is the Stock Exchange of Mauritius. Also in Port Louis are over 10 commercial banks that serve both domestic and offshore clients, insurance companies, pension funds, mutual funds, leasing companies, and foreign exchange dealers. The oldest bank based in Port Louis is the Mauritius Commercial Bank, which was founded in 1838. The Bank of Mauritius is the central bank of the country. Measuring 124 meters, 407 feet, from ground level to its pinnacle, the Bank of Mauritius Tower is the tallest building in the country. Port Louis is served by two major bus stations. Victoria Station is used by buses to and from the eastern and southern areas and the Plains Wilhelms district. Immigration Square, also known as Gare du Nord, is a terminus for buses coming from the northern districts of Pamplemousses and Rivière du Rempart. A number of intercity buses carry passengers to and from nearby suburbs such as Plaine Verte, Vallée de Prétraz, Pales, Plaine Lausanne, and Site Valagi. Most streets in Port Louis are laid out in rectangular grids, and many are one-way. Although most roads are in good shape, many streets are fairly narrow, as would be expected for a historic colonial town. Due to the daily influx of workers to business and government offices in Port Louis, daytime traffic can be quite heavy and finding parking spaces a challenge. To cope with increasing traffic congestion, the government has proposed a light rail transit system. Other suggestions have included moving some of the 24 government ministries currently located in Port Louis to surrounding regions or introducing flexible work schedules. An effort to move workers from the city center has already started with the construction of the Abine Office Tower complex south of Port Louis. A ring road passing on the east side of Port Louis is also expected to reduce congestion. Phase 1 of that project was completed in 2013, but in February 2014 the road needed to be closed due to the appearance of a major crack, apparently due to faulty design. Another project initiated to reduce congestion is the construction of a bridge, commonly referred to as the Dream Bridge, from Les Salines to Rochebois, which will span the Port Louis harbor. In 2012, the government decided to construct an approximately 25 kilometers rail system between Curepipe and Port Louis, which had been under consideration for nearly 3 decades. The project was initiated by a government-to-government agreement with the Singapore Cooperation Enterprise, SCE, along with private partners Singapore Mass Rapid Transit, SMRT, Corporation and the South African/Australian engineering firm Orcon Limited. The goal was to develop a preliminary plan of the system, and then solicit expressions of interest for a design-build-operate finance scheme, with a concession period of 33 years. Construction for the light rail transit transport system began in the fall of 2017, with the government of Mauritius awarding the contract to the Mumbai-based design and construction firm Larsen & Toubro. The first stage of Mauritius Metro Express, from Port Louis to Rosehill Central, was opened in January 2020, the second stage, an extension to Curepipe, in October 2022. Port Louis is home to the nation's main harbor, which is the only official port of entry and exit for sea vessels in Mauritius. Ships must be cleared in the port before visiting any other anchorage in the island nation. The Mauritius Ports Authority, MPA, established by law in 1998, is the port authority responsible for Port Louis. The MPA provides port infrastructure, enters into contracts with private providers for port and cargo handling services, promotes the use and development of the ports, and licenses and regulates port and marine services. The harbor adjoins the main city, with the port currently comprising 3 terminals. Terminal I contains a total of 1,180 meters of quay, with 6 berthing positions for cargo, passengers, and fishing boats. Terminal 2 contains 986 meters of quays with 6 berthing positions and includes specialized facilities for handling and storing sugar, fish, tallow, and caustic soda. In particular, the bulk sugar terminal, operated by the Mauritius Sugar Terminal Corporation, can handle vessels with up to 11 meters of draft, can load sugar at a rate of 1,450 tons per hour, and can store 175,000 tons of cargo. Also present in Terminal 2 is a dedicated 124-meter cruise ship jetty, with a dredge depth of 10.8 meters. Terminal 3 has two 280-meter quays with a depth of 14 meters, and is specialized for handling container ships, having 3 Super Post-Panamax and 5 Post-Panamax gantry cranes. Also present are storage facilities for bulk ethanol and tie-in points for reefer containers. Vessels too large to dock at the quays can anchor at the outer anchorage, which is still within the official boundaries of the port. The number of ships visiting the port numbered over 2,200 annually in 2010. In 2019, cargo container capacity was 1 million TEUs, 20-foot equivalent units. Overall, the port contributes 2% to the country's GDP. The cruise ship terminal, opened in 2010 and named after Christian Decotter, past chairman of the Mauritius Tourism Advisory Board, illustrates the increasing role of tourism in the economy of Mauritius. Cruise ships of up to 300 meters can be accommodated at the facility, which includes 2 access bridges for passengers and vehicles. The facility was the first in the Indian Ocean to be capable of handling the largest cruise ships in the world. In 2012, passenger arrivals by sea included 11,510 tourists and 6,450 excursionists who arrived aboard 23 cruise ships. Berthing facilities are available at the Caudan Waterfront. Available are 20 berths with electrical and water connections, showers and toilets, laundry, and vehicle parking. Also available are dry dock and hull and sail repair facilities. Depths of the berths range from 2 to 4 meters, depending on the tide, and up to 30-meter ships can be accommodated. Also based in the port is the National Coast Guard facility, at Quay A of Terminal I. Port Louis is served by Sir Siwasagar Ramgoolam International Airport, the hub of Air Mauritius, which is also served, among others, by Air France, Emirates, Saudia, and Turkish Airlines. Primary and secondary schools in Port Louis include state-run and private institutions. Most private schools receive much of their support from the government, based on a formula where the government pays staff wages and operating expenses based on a grant formula. Other costs are covered by students and their families, such as books and uniforms. The government also provides private schools with loans at preferential interest rates to help upgrade facilities. The state-affiliated schools include those operated by MEDCO, Mauritius Educational Development Company, which is a partnership between the Government of Mauritius and the State Investment Corporation. Port Louis houses several secondary schools which include Alpha College, Bujohari College, Labourdonnais College, Port Louis Academy, Loreto College, Madad ul Islam Girls College, Muslim Girls College, City College, Full Day School, Institute of Islamic and Secular Studies, London College, OSEP the Open College, and Port Louis High School, Medco Trinity Secondary School, Medco Trinity Secondary School, Port Louis North SSS, and Sir Abdul Razak Muhammad SSS, Ghulam Muhammad Daji Akia. State College, Medco Casas Secondary School, Ranganadan Sinivasan SSS, Port Louis SSS and Royal College Port Louis. The state also operates a vocational school for boys, Immaculate Conception SSV. The major institute of tertiary education in Port Louis is the University of Technology, Mauritius, a public university with a technology focus. The École de Médecine Louis Pasteur prepares students for medical studies at Université de Lille in France. Several technical schools also have locations in the city, including the Jury Ria School which specializes in information technology